Hey guys, my name's Ben and I'm a filmmaker here at Itch. Today I'm going to be giving you a tour of our in-house studio. I'm going to be giving you some insight into how we built the studio, then we're going to talk about the cameras and lighting that we use, and then we're going to put that into practice and try out a couple of setups to show you how versatile the space is. Since building the studio, it's been a game changer for us. We can do so many different types of setups, from product photography to talking head videos. This is all because we built the studio around our needs and made it as modular as possible. This makes it so much faster, so we can spend more time on being creative in our photography and video and making productions more efficient and fun. So if you're interested in building an in-house studio, this video is for you. So how did we set up the studio? The first thing we wanted to do is figure out how we use the space. So we came in and had a look around. We had a look at where the windows are to see what natural light we would be getting, and then we looked at the size of the room itself. So we had a look at the length, the width, and the height. This gives us an idea for where the best position for the camera would be. We then build the studio around that. So the best position for our camera is right here. This gives us plenty of depth from the wall, allowing us to separate our subject from the background. Now we have that information and we know where our camera is going to be living, we can build the rest of the studio up around that. So now we know our camera's over there, our color-armors are going to live over here. For this system, we've got 2 auto poles and this mount that holds up to 3 different colors at one time. It also has a pulley system over there, so we can quickly change. Then we put all our other color armors on this wall here, so we can quickly grab a different color if needed. The key to this setup is keeping it as modular as possible, so we can switch between interview setups and product photography all under one roof. The cameras are the heart of our studio. Here we use the Canon EOS R range. We have the Canon EOS C70, the R5C, R5, and this beautiful selection of RF lenses. This is our primary video camera for interviews. This is an all-in-one cinema package, so it's perfect for video with built-in NDs, amazing 4K sensor, and also built-in audio inputs. We next have the R5C. This is our camera that we use on any projects where we may need to provide both stills and video. We use it because it's a beautiful, compact, all-in-one solution for that, with an 8K sensor and 4K oversampled. Punch into interviews to get different angles and different effects and can produce amazing 45 megapixel stills. Then we have the R5. This is our photography camera for the studio, so we use this on any product shoots that we have and any photography that we do here. We use this because it's got the beautiful 45 megapixel sensor and it's full frame as well. We team these cameras up with the RF lenses. We have a full focal range from 15mm up to 200 here. One of my favorites is the 85 f1.2. This is an incredibly sharp lens and has a beautiful bokeh when you're at that 1.2 aperture. We also have the 24-70 f2.8. This is a great run and gun lens and great for those fast productions, as you can quickly change your focal length and still have that beautiful f2.8 depth of field. These lenses teamed up with these cameras are a great solution for our studio, which improve the quality of our work and make production easier. This is our first shoot of the day. We're going to start off with product photography. We've got the R5C and lens modeling for us. This is our bright setup, so we're using a yellow backdrop, and then we're going to play with the lights to create shapes. We're then going to move on to a darker, moodier setup with a black backdrop and see what we can do there. I'm now going to pass on to my colleague Carolina, who's going to tweak the lighting for us.
So for this first product shoot, like Ben said, we want to go for a bright, kind of sunny vibes sort of lighting. So we're going to bring our key light a little bit closer just to get the product a bit brighter and like kind of popping a bit more. So in terms of the key light, we've decided to go with the grid in front of our softbox that kind of help us get a more like directional source of light, so it doesn't spread as much, gives a bit more contrast. We don't want the spill to go all over the product. We kind of want to create a bit of contrast and depth. So I'm going to actually get a flag or something to block the light a little bit more, so the light is only going in the background, kind of bouncing a little bit to the product, but not too much. Okay, so we just want to kind of block the light a little bit, but not too much. So to add that summer feel, I'm going to use this tungsten spotlight, create some shapes. Like I said before, I wanted to add a shape to the front and something to the background. So that's what we're going to do. I've added those lights in, but as you can see, there's not that much contrast. You can't really see the shapes at the front and very soft at the back. So just need to reduce a little bit our key. So you can see the project is lit perfectly. There's a little bit of a brighter like light here, a little bit from the back in the background as well to just kind of replicate the sun, makes the product pop.
So we're using the R5 teamed with the RF 24 to 70 for this shot. Now I'm just going to perfect it and adjust the angle. Having a look here, I can see that we're just a little bit under. So I just want to bring the camera up just so we can see the top of the items a bit and really make the products pop. So I'm just going to bring it up. Cool, so what I've done is I've got the R5 tethered using Canon EOS utility on the computer so I can see my frame in full. This is where I'm going to control my camera today. So I'm going to first off make sure my autofocus points are on here, and then look at the image. I want to make sure everything's sharp and looks nice. So we've taken the f-stop up to around f3.5 to make sure that both our lens and camera are in focus. But we still want to keep that nice blurry background look. So we don't want to push it too high. So that's why we've gone 3.5. We're also shooting in RAW because we want to get the most out of our images. So when we take it into post upstairs, we can get a great grade and adjust the colors as much as we want. Right, so let's give it a go and take some photos. So I can simply hit the shutter button there. Great, that's looking really nice. The autofocus is working really well and capturing the logo, and the lighting that Carolina's done has really made the camera pop. And that's looking really nice again. I'm super happy with that. So now we're just gonna get a couple of different angles and see what we can get. Okay, as quickly as that, we've got a new setup ready. I quickly brought down the black and got rid of the yellow in the backdrop. We then built a little bit of perspex in and a bit of A2 black card in the back to get a nice reflection of the camera. And we've also changed the lens from a 24-70 to the 100mm macro. This lens is great for just getting a bit closer, compressing the background a little bit more, and just getting more detail and up and close with our subject. The setup's not quite complete yet. We still need to make a couple of tweaks to the light for it to be perfect, so I'm just gonna do that now. Okay, to start off, I'm just gonna turn off the two spotlights we have on. So by turning these off, we're just getting rid of those shapes we created earlier. So we no longer have those contrasts. Okay, so now I'm just gonna check the shots again, and that's all clear. So now we've got a nice even black background, and then we've got a nice reflection in the back where the camera is. First off, I'm just gonna start by dimming the back LED panel a little. So we're doing this to just create a bit more contrast in the background. As we're shooting on black, we don't need to see that light, and we really wanna make the camera pop. So once we've got our hero shot here, we can then use a 100mm macro to get real nice close-up textures of the product to really create a feel for it. So once we've got our hero shot, we can then use this lens's amazing 1.4 times magnification to getting real close and get some really nice textured and logo shots of the camera. We're on to our next shoot of the day, which is filming an interview. For this setup, we're going to be using two cameras. We've got the Canon EOS C70 as our main camera and the R5C as our B camera. We chose to use two cameras for this, as it gives us a variety of angles and makes the edit more interesting. It also means that when we're filming our contributor, they can stumble a little bit and we can cut around it in the edit. So first thing we're going to do is rig the camera's audio. The C70 takes audio straight into the camera, so we can just plug straight in here, and we're going to set up our lav mic here. So we're using the lav mic, so we have a really nice close microphone to our contributor, so it gives that nice sort of intimate feel. But then we're also using the stick mic overhead, which is a bit of a bigger microphone, so it picks up a bit more bass in the sound. With the R5C, you can team it with this Tascam audio unit, which allows us to put XLRs directly into the camera. So we're going to connect the R5C to our boom. Also, when using a stick mic, you've got to remember to check if it's phantom power or not. Phantom power means that it will be using power from the camera. If not, it might have a battery in there, so you don't need to power it from the camera. This one, we do need to do that. So now our cameras are rigged with audio, let's finalize our shot and get our framing. Now with the help of Carolina sitting in, I'm going to finalize my framing and get a nice mid shot as our main A cam. We're going to use the rule of thirds, so we're going to put her slightly to the right of frame, and then we're going to have her looking just over here to the left of camera where our interviewer will be sitting. So now we're happy with that A cam shot, we're going to move on to B cam. On this, we've got the 85mm, and we're going for a tighter shot at a bit more of an angle so we can get a different feel and vibe. With this camera, I've got the 85, so it gets me nice and close to my subject. And then on the A cam, I've got the 50mm, which just gives me a bit more of a wider depth of field. For this shoot, we're trying to keep it all blue in the background. So I'm just gonna move left and right to find my frame for Carolina. You can be really as creative as you want with this second camera. I sometimes like to put my contributor on the left of frame, leaving room for graphics on the side if we're going to do something like that. For this, I think we might keep them right of frame. So now I'm happy with my 2 shots. I'll pass over to Carolina to talk us through lighting.
So we're keeping the continuous lighting that we had for photography. We just have to do a couple of adjustments. So for the interview, we kind of want the half-lit face, not too contrasty, but enough to make it interesting. So I'm just gonna put the light a little bit more on the side and not pointing to the background too much, because we've got our backlight to do that. So for our backlight, I kind of want to point it a little bit to the back of our subject. So just like we had in our product shot, we kind of want to create a little bit of fill, just to kind of balance out the shadows and to make it a little bit brighter. But if you do want a bit contrasty look, you can always go for negative fill and use the other side of the polyboard or black flag. Nice, so now that we have adjusted our lights, let's check it and make sure we're happy with it. So this is looking quite good. We've got our key light, our fill light and our backlight. It's looking ready.
So Carolina's happy with lighting. I'm going to do the final checks on the camera. First off, I'm just going to double check our exposure. I do this using the waveforms in the Canon cameras. So I'm just going to hit this button here and just make sure I'm not peaking in the highlights and I'm not too low on the blacks. Looking at this, we're looking nice. Same again on this camera. I'm just going to check my waveforms here. I can see I probably could just bring up the highlights a little bit more. So I'm just going to open up the f-stop slightly to 1.4. Now I'm happy with that. Let's check audio. On this, I've got my lav mic set up and we just got it coming through on one channel at the moment. What I like to do is just set it up on both channel 1 and 2. So you have a redundant channel just in case you have any issues. Then I do exactly the same on our B camera as well and make sure we've got good levels there for our second mic. Next thing I'm going to finalize is my audio. Now I've got my lav mic running on here and I want it to run on channels 1 and 2. On channel 1, I'm going to set it to manual so I can manually dial in my levels. So I'll get to Carolina to count to 10 for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect. There we go. I've got my manual levels. Now I'm also going to run our lav mic onto input 2 as well. This allows me to set it to automatic. So just in case we have any variation in the volume whilst we're recording, that will just make sure we still got it in the levels. And it's just a safety for us. I'll set that up on both cameras. Next is the R5C with our top mic. I'm just gonna get it in place over here. So let's just move this about. We wanna get this microphone as close to our contributor as possible. My final check is I'm gonna set up the dual pixel CMOS autofocus on both these cameras, as both cameras have incredible face detection. So on this, I simply just go into my menus and put it on, or you can just hit the switch over here and we can see that we are now tracking Carolina's face. Even if she turns away from looks off camera, we'll still be tracking her. I love these autofocus features because I can rely on them keeping my subject in focus all the time. So that means that I can be more engaged with my interviewee as I ask them questions and maintain eye contact and just trust the camera to do what it needs to do. And there you have it. With a studio like this and a Canon EOS R system, you can create so much amazing content, like the stuff we filmed today and so much more. With bigger budgets, you can scale up to bigger studios, more equipment, and whatever fits your needs. I hope you found this video useful, and thanks for watching.